My son thanked everyone but me. Standing there on that stage in his expensive suit, listing off names, his mother, his stepfather, his professors, even his damn roommate. I sat in the back with numb fingers and watched him forget I existed. The air conditioning was blasting. There was this smell, cheap flowers and that rental carpet cleaner smell. The microphone screeched when Jake leaned in. "I want to thank my mom and David," he said. He sounded sure of himself. "For everything. For supporting me, for believing in me, for making this possible." I watched David down in the front row, nodding. My ex-wife was crying into a tissue. She was smiling through it. Jake didn't scan the crowd, never looked back. I left before the ceremony ended. Wasn't going to stand there for photos, wasn't going to watch David's hand on my son's shoulder like he'd been there from the beginning. The mail was sticking out of my box when I got home, usual crap, but there was this letter from the bank. Barely half a page. Automatic payment terminated. Account beneficiary completed program January 2026. Jake's name was on the redirect all along, but the money never went where it was supposed to. I called them the next morning. She told me my payments had been redirected in August 2022 to a joint account Sarah and David Morrison. I'd signed the authorization. Sarah said it was simpler, one family account instead of two separate payments to the school. I hung up, called the university. Turned out Jake's tuition was covered by scholarship and a one-time payment made in August 2022. They hadn't been receiving my monthly checks since then. 3.5 years, $400 a month, $17,000. I checked my old statements. Every payment went to that account, the one Sarah set up years ago. And from there, I looked at Facebook for the first time in months. David's page. Photo from last fall, him and that silver Mercedes. Finally treated myself. Years of hard work paying off. I sat on my couch, the one with the rip in it, and just stared at my phone. I thought about calling Jake right then. Thought about letting it go. But I kept thinking about his face on that stage, how he didn't even glance back. Sarah texted me 3 days later, family dinner for Jake at Antonio's. They were already there when I walked in, dark in there, red booths, candles on every table. Sarah looked surprised to see me. Jake was on his phone. David was laughing with his parents. I sat at the end. There was this water stain on the tablecloth in front of me. They ordered wine, talked about Italy, about the ceremony, about Jake's future. David was loud, telling some story about his college days. Then he stood up with his glass, started going on about sacrifices and hard work, how everything they'd done was worth it to see Jake succeed. Everyone raised their glasses. Jake was smiling at David like the man invented success. I pulled the bank letter from my jacket, put it on the table next to the bread basket. The statement, too. Sarah saw it first. Her wine glass stopped midair. David picked it up, still smiling, but his face changed as he read. I didn't raise my voice. $400 every month since August 2022. $17,000. I thought it was going to the university. You told me it was simpler to combine payments. The school had already been paid when you set up that redirect. Nobody said anything. Someone's fork touched a plate, scraping. Sarah tried to explain something about other expenses, living costs, books, but the statement showed transfers to an auto dealer, the Hilton, a remodeling company. David's face went red, started saying I had no right, that there were misunderstandings, that I didn't know the full picture. But Jake reached for the papers. Read them. He asked if it was real. Not to me, to them. Jake, honey, this is more complicated than, Sarah started. Is it real? His voice was louder. David put down his wine glass. Look, there were expenses your father doesn't understand. We covered things. Jake's voice cracked. You told me he didn't help, that he didn't care, that I should be grateful to you for everything. He stood up fast. His chair scraped loud. I told Jake. I should have checked, should have made sure. I trusted your mother. He looked at me. He was tearing up. Why didn't you say anything before? Would you have believed me? Nothing. Sarah was crying. David was talking fast about budgets and complications. Jake dropped the papers and walked out. I left money on the table, went outside. Jake was sitting on the curb in his nice suit. I sat down next to him. Didn't talk for a while. Cars passing, someone's radio playing down the block. He finally said, "I don't know what to do with this." "Yeah, me neither." He asked if I was at graduation. "Back row," I said. "I thanked him," he said. "In front of everyone. Thanked him for your money. David helped raise you too. That counts for something." His jaw tightened. "Don't make excuses for them. I didn't have it in me. It's complicated. People mess up." Sat there till the streetlights came on. He said, "I don't know if I can forgive them." "You don't have to decide tonight." Finally, he stood up. I drove back and fell asleep on the couch with the TV on. My phone buzzed around midnight. Text from Jake. "Thanks for coming to graduation." I wrote back, "Wouldn't have missed it." Some stories don't have endings, just spots where you go quiet.